Lark Davis, who is a very big influencer in the crypto space, crypto trader, crypto analyst, recently gave his thoughts about what's going to happen in 2022, and some of it revolved around the Ripple versus the SEC case. So I'm going to tell you in this video what he actually said, what the effect that it's going to have on the rest of the crypto space. But what I would like to add to it is actually a statement from John Deaton that's probably a little more accurate. And in this video, I'm also going to be covering what the Bitcoin price action has been doing and what is a very interesting prediction from the founder of a crypto trading exchange and what he says could happen in 2022 from a prediction that he made 3 years ago. And he actually tweeted out that prediction, and it's crazy how spot on it is. So I'm going to tell you what he said 3 years ago and what he's saying is going to happen in 2022 to the price of Bitcoin. And continuing to look forward into 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried, who is a 29-year-old multi-billionaire founder of FTX Exchange, recently has some thoughts about what's going to be leading the crypto space, essentially a roadmap to the crypto space in 2022. We're going to talk about what 3 things are going to be most important and lead the way, some of which involve XRP. And noted crypto trader Michael Vanderpop has some very interesting predictions of what's going to happen to Solana in 2022 after it's more than 100x in 2021. And I'm also going to talk about a few other altcoins that are about ready to pop, according to one expert trader. So I can tell you what they are and what to look for. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you do 2 things. Number 1, hit the subscribe button, join that Late Night Grind community, and also hit the bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And if you're feeling generous today, I'd really appreciate it if you do 2 things. Smash that thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the 2 best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So with that, let's jump into it. So I want to start off with what Sam Bankman-Fried, the creator of FTX Exchange, had laid out on Twitter in terms of the 3 things that he thinks is going to be a roadmap to the crypto space in 2022. Now, he laid out 3 points, and 2 of which actually really relate to XRP, and the other one, well, he says it's not even created yet. So the first part is regulation. Now, he laid all this out on Twitter, and when he was talking about regulation, he was more so talking about stablecoins, wanting more regular audits and more transparency into the stablecoin market, and I completely agree with that. But in terms of other regulation, the SEC versus this Ripple case could be a landmark. In fact, it's going to be a landmark benchmark case for the rest of the crypto space. Because once Ripple wins against the SEC, essentially it's just going to be Bitcoin and XRP that really will be the only ones that have true clarity in the space. Now, the other thing he talked about was scaling and speed. And in terms of speed, XRP is actually one of the fastest cryptos out there with 1,500 transactions per second, which is much faster than a lot of the top market cap altcoins as well as Bitcoin. However, Sam Bankman-Fried said, no, it's not going to be 20,000 transactions per second, isn't going to be enough, 50,000 is not going to be enough. He needs something that's going to be used in mass adoption in things like metaverse and things like video game applications where millions of transactions per second will be needed. And as of right now, nothing like that has been created. He also talked about the scalability in terms of more of mass adoption. And what he said was that video gaming, especially play to earn and things like metaverse and video games within a metaverse, could be that catalyst to bring more mainstream adoption to the crypto industry. So you don't have to be super ultra tech savvy to go and participate. You can simply learn to play some of these video games. And speaking of some altcoins, I wanted to mention a few of them that I've recently been reading up on. There's a few crypto traders and crypto analysts that I follow that have been pointing out a few that are sort of bucking the trend of what Bitcoin is doing. In fact, Michael Vanderpop, he actually laid out what he thinks Solana is going to do in 2022. Now, Solana, if you've watched my channel, you know that many times I've mentioned Solana because it's an incredible story. And it's one of those tokens that it went from $1.50 back in January to a high of $265. That is an incredible number. But Michael Vanderpop says, well, it's not done because he actually has a price target of $410 up to $650 are his price targets. Now, specifically, if Bitcoin continues its big leg up in 2022, he said that number could change drastically, and he is eyeing $1,000 to $1,500 for Solana, a token that in January of 2021 was selling for $1.50. Now, Nicholas Merton, who is also another altcoin who is also another altcoin trader, was recently pointing out a few others to keep an eye on because these 4 altcoins are really starting to buck the trend. So some of these that you might want to look into or put on your watch list are Aave, Uniswap, which I've actually seen a lot of people looking for a big run recently, as well as Yearn Finance and a DeFi protocol, Radix. He said these are primed for a big run regardless of what Bitcoin is doing. Now, he also pointed out that some of these altcoins are making a run regardless of what Bitcoin is doing, and he thinks it's almost like an altcoin super cycle is starting to shape up. Because he said typically when Bitcoin goes up, some of these altcoins go up. When Bitcoin goes down, these altcoins go down with it. But some of these specific ones that he mentioned are reversing that trend. But he's more specifically talking about an altcoin season that is causing it. But I have some information more so revolving around Bitcoin that points as to why Bitcoin suffers bigger losses than some of these altcoins, at least from a percentage-wise and dollar perspective. And that brings me to what Bitcoin is doing in terms of price action and some huge price predictions that, one, came true, and B, another price prediction for 2022. So the founder of Decentrator, also known on Twitter as FlibFlib, recently tweeted, I'm not kidding, you can go look it up, recently retweeted out his prediction of what Bitcoin was going to be from a price perspective from 3 years ago today. He pointed out a chart that he had published, and then you can go on Twitter and actually see this tweet, see the dates. It was real. It's absolutely real. This chart that he had pointed out, which predicted what Bitcoin's price would be, and it followed a chart over the years. Well, as of right now, this date, it was actually spot on. His prediction was that Bitcoin would be right around $50,000 during this weekly time frame. That's exactly where Bitcoin has been trending. So 3 years ago, his chart was spot on for this week for the price of Bitcoin. That's really cool. A lot of predictions don't get nearly that close. So what's his prediction for 2022? Well, he used the same chart and he overlaid what his prediction was versus what Bitcoin has currently been doing, and it's been following a very similar line. Now, there are some ups that his chart didn't predict, and there were some downs that his chart didn't predict, but overall, it's following his same trend line. So where does that trend line end up? Well, his trend line ends up at about $333,000 per Bitcoin. And when does it hit that? In the middle of 2022. Matches up perfectly with Ben Cowen's elongated and lengthening market cycle theory that looks like it's coming into fruition. So we're gonna have to see what's going to happen in this first part of 2022. He was actually recently on a podcast telling people that you have no idea what's coming in 2022. You just don't have enough crypto right now for what's coming. And finally, Lark Davis, who is a big-time crypto influencer, crypto analyst, crypto trader that I follow on YouTube and Twitter. He's actually one of Ethereum's biggest cheerleaders, at least from what I see on Twitter. And so when I was going through some of his Twitter feed, I saw that he had pointed out something about Ripple in the case versus the SEC. And he threw his weight and his opinion behind that in 2022, he believes that Ripple will win the case against the SEC. He said at this point, the SEC is just kind of throwing their weight around, kind of like a schoolyard bully. He said the win for Ripple will be a net positive for all of crypto. And as a blanket statement, I totally agree with that. However, I want to take it a step farther because I fully believe in what John Deaton says. When he says when Ripple wins this case against the SEC, in 2022, the only cryptos with complete and total clarity are going to be Bitcoin and XRP. And now you know why some of the people are starting to price in their predictions of a $15, $25, $30 XRP in 2022. So if you want to follow along with any or all these stories, make sure you subscribe to Late Night Grind. And once again, I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end of this video and for giving it a big thumbs up. And as always, leave your comments in the comments section down below or follow me on Twitter and we can continue these conversations there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you guys on the next video.